The Boston Bruins have one final chance to keep their season alive, needing a win in Game 7 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. After being up 3-1 in the series, this team has made some changes that have not worked out, and we have one more opportunity to see what changes they will make to see if this team is ready to go for the second round against the Florida Panthers. But I'm going to talk about today the changes that they have made, some quotes from the team, as well as Jim Montgomery, based on what we're going to see in Game 7. So make sure to stick around, find out what we have to say, as well as make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, we know it's that 81% of you guys watching right now are not subs. So if you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, everything from this playoffs, which hopefully extends past tomorrow, as well as a very busy offseason for Don Sweeney, you're going to want to make sure to hit the sub button. That will keep you up to date with everything that this team has to offer. But like I said, let's get straight into our first topic here, which is the Bruins have changed their practice plan. We know that this team has not been working. Right now, this team is stuck in the mud, and they've changed some practice rotations, I guess, some different plans for practice to hopefully get this team game ready for tomorrow. So the first little update we have here is there was no practice today from the Boston Bruins team, which is a lot of people were not a fan of, knowing that this team simply wasn't there, simply wasn't ready for the last two games, and people are not happy that no practice was occurring today, which seemed like the team needed it. You know, to be frankly honest, that's really what many people wanted. We really hope for two practices, but a travel day, getting ready for the game tomorrow. We're going to have a practice tomorrow, which is going to be at TD Garden and not Warrior. So that's one change that Scott McLaughlin said here, based on a quote that Jim Montgomery had said on trying to get better off in the start of Game 7. We're doing some things already to change what we would hope would be different start of game. So that's one small change. Hopefully, you know, the slim odds that does something. It'll get you in the game experience, the game atmosphere at TD Gardens, and maybe they pump in some crowd noise over this practice. You never really know, but practicing in the same arena that you will be playing at later in the day will hopefully help this team kind of get used to the ice, visualizing what they're going to see here throughout Game 7, because they're going to need to visualize everything that they can hope for, realistically. They can't take anything granted. They can't really wish something would happen. They're going to need to make it happen if they want at least another chance at another series. So that practice, that's the first start. But another conversation that Jim Montgomery was having, which is a big one, which he mentioned after the last game, in Game 6, after that loss, about David Pastrnak really being invisible here in this series, not being present, really, it seems like, during the games, and not having an impact that a player like David Pastrnak should in this series. So Jim Montgomery really mentioned that David Pastrnak needs to step up, and if Pastrnak does, he will be the game changer here for this series. And this comes out from Jim Montgomery after what he had to say about Pastrnak in the post-game interview last night, saying that he needs to step up. It's this time he needs to start stepping up here if this team at least wants a chance. And he had to say this, Montgomery, on how Pastrnak received the message about him stepping up. I talked to him right after the game about it. I talked to him about it during the game. Past and I have a real healthy, communicative relationship, and he's ready to go. Now, I don't know how much this got into David Pastrnak's head, but David Pastrnak is the type of player to hear something and try and act on it as quick as possible, and he needs it as quick as possible, ahead of next game, ahead of tomorrow night. This is going to be, the final chance of this season, and hopefully David Pastrnak can acknowledge that, hopefully step up his game, move his feet a bit more, be able to pot a few shots, because from what we had seen, he has not been fantastic this series, and quite frankly, invisible. You can see the 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points in 6 games, and a -1 with 8 penalty minutes, which is quite a lot for David Pastrnak. Not usually what we see from him, but, the penalties are kind of all over the place here in this series, and we know that. So really, we hope that we see a few more goals, a few more assists in next game if possible, but we'd like to see a few more here in this playoff series. So, like I said, David Pastrnak really is going to be the game changer here. If we see him right off the rip tomorrow night, the first face-off, if we see him coming out, using his feet, flying around the ice, we know that old David Pastrnak is back, and I really hope we see that right at puck drop. We're going to really need to get this game going early. We need an early one, and David Pastrnak, if he's the guy to do it, I'll be very happy. I don't want to get my hopes up yet. I don't want to mention anything too much yet, too extravagant, but it'll be a good sign, a very helpful feeling if David Pastrnak can get going here next game, and what could be the final game, like I said, of this season. But one more update here tonight before we, get ready for tomorrow for the game. I'll be doing another video, probably afternoonish, and then maybe a live stream before or after the game. But either way, we got another one. Jim Montgomery says he feels no pressure, which is really quite an interesting quote from Jim Montgomery here, especially in the situation they're in for the second year in a row. In my mind, you think Jim Montgomery would feel at least some type of pressure, and I'm sure he's feeling it, but just not saying it. And this is what Scott McLaughlin also, once again, on Twitter had to say about Montgomery, and what Montgomery had to say about whether he personally feels pressure or not. He says, "I don't, because I look at it, I'm an opportunistic positive person, sorry about that, and even though I'm mad and frustrated at times, I look for way better, way to get way better and come out of it. How are we going to get better?" That's what he says. You know, he's really thinking about the ways that this team needs to get better, and he better think quick, because we don't have too much time before this game once again. You know, going to be tomorrow night. Once again, still very, very limited time at this point, but to say that Jim Montgomery is not nervous is definitely a media, answer. That's what he's saying to the media. I'm sure he's definitely feeling some nerves. I'm sure Don Sweeney will be watching this game very closely, because he's going to have to evaluate this team this offseason, regardless of how far this team gets or not, because we know this team wasn't exactly the most ideal team for the Bruins this season, but they made it to the spot they wanted to be in the playoffs, and now they're heading into a Game 7 against the Toronto Maple Leafs once again. So, to say Jim Montgomery should not feel nervous is wrong. He definitely should, but to have him feeling confident, if he is in fact feeling confident, I think that's better for the team. Having him make the moves that he feels comfortable with, confident in, and having these players really go out to work and hopefully show their best game here in Game 7, because I don't want to see this team end tomorrow. Nor do I want to see their season end at all yet. I want to see this team go on a deeper run, and I really, really hope that this team can eventually get to that point where, they're firing on all cylinders every game. Instead of taking a few games off like they have in this Toronto series, I want to see this team comfortable. If they get a Game 7 win here tomorrow, I think this team realizes that they can take another step to their game, which they're going to need to if they do end up playing the Florida Panthers. So, once again, it's really out of our hands at this point. Like I said in the video yesterday, we're here to sit down, watch this game, hope this team is ready, hope Jim Montgomery has this team ready, and all we can do is watch, cheer the team on, and hopefully we see a win here tomorrow night. But, that's only a matter of time. Like I said, I'll be, whether streaming or not before after the game is yet to be determined, but I'm nearly confident I will be streaming at some point tomorrow. So make sure to hit the sub button, turn on the bell if you don't want to miss out on that stream. You don't want to miss out on any videos. You'll get notified as soon as it comes up, especially with these recent heavy times for the Bruins, because we're going to have a lot of news coming, whether or not this playoff series continues here tomorrow. But like I said, that's all I got here in this video. If you did enjoy, make sure you give the video a like, hit the sub button as well, like I said. But yeah, I'm signing out. Let's hope for the Bruins win tomorrow. We need it. Let's go. We need the support from just about everybody around the NHL that wants the Maple Leafs to lose. So make sure to give the video a like. But like I said, sign out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.